Hello everyone, intuitive and astrologer Lisa Salvatore here with part 2 of the month of April, the intuitive astrology and energy forecast for the second half of April, going from April 15th through April 30th, including the new moon in Taurus that takes place towards the end of the month. Today that I am recording this video, it is April 8th. Mercury has just stationed direct. Hallelujah. This past retrograde was very retrograde-y. Be sure to go back and listen to the first half of April, as we are actually still in it as I'm recording this video, and more than likely will still be in that first half portion when I post this. That is linked in the description box below, and that also includes the full moon in Libra that takes place on April 12th, and then Venus stationing direct right there soon after. Very powerful full moon vibes, full moon energy. So make sure you check that out. Let's get right into it. This reading will encompass the second half of April. Just basic housekeeping. You can sign up for my newsletter, link in the description box below. I have a paid newsletter, a free newsletter, and also a membership here on YouTube. There will be a video explaining all of that real quick at the end of this video. And you can also find that in the description box below, along with everything else, including private sessions, which I will be opening up more for the month of June soon. You can always join the waitlist to be notified when private sessions open up again. And obviously you're here on my YouTube channel, so be sure to like, share, and subscribe so that you do not miss any content. In the description box below, you will find a free video, a free tutorial that will show you how to track energies such as the new moons and full moons in your own personal birth chart. You can always pull up your birth chart for free right on my website, lisasalvatore.com. And I also have a free downloadable guide through the houses of the birth chart. All of that will be linked in the description box below. If you would like a much more detailed breakdown of the energy of the houses, the zodiac signs, the planets, and the symbols, plus a detailed 3-part tutorial on tracking new moon and full moons through your birth chart and basic transits in general, there is a paid download, which is $19.99, and you can find that also linked in the description box below, or by visiting my website and going to the courses tab. This is evergreen content, teaching content that can help you to really track your own unique astrology. Here we are in the second half of April. Venus is still retrograde, also getting ready to station direct. April 16th, Mercury will enter the sign of Aries. Mercury, the messenger, the communicator, the transcriber of information of all kinds. Mercury has already traversed a slight journey through Aries previously. Early March, Mercury entered Aries, March 3rd to be exact, and got all the way to 9 degrees of Aries, and then stationed retrograde on the 15th of March. Mercury remained in Aries retrograde through March 29th, and then Mercury retrograded back into Pisces and remained there for the remainder of the retrograde, and then stationed direct on April 7th at 26 degrees of Pisces. This is the point where I would tell you to check your chart, check your birth chart if you're tracking the energies, which you should be. Check your birth chart to the part of your chart that contains 9 degrees of Aries and then also 26 degrees of Pisces, because those areas of your birth chart were impacted by this recent retrograde. You can check what those areas of life represent and how this might have manifested for you, or what you might have been going over, revising, reevaluating. Now that Mercury is direct, we start to get back on track and things begin to realign. So Mercury now direct moves back into Aries April 16th. So we might be receiving some clarity here, especially on the personal level in regards to the Aries and Pisces parts of your life, of your birth chart. And now that Mercury is direct, we can officially blame ourselves again for all of the kerfuffles that will come up again, that will occur again. Mercury will remain in Aries until May 10th. Now, the thing about Mercury in Aries is a fire sign. Yes, it's the first sign of the zodiac. Mercury in Aries is very direct, very blunt, very to the point, and can sometimes be very hasty with very little regard to others' feelings. And they may or may not be intentional, but it is what it is. So Mercury in Aries has the potential to be very positive by way of honesty and directness, but at the same time can also lend to hastiness and impulsiveness. So just making sure that our words and our actions are aligned is going to be really strongly valued during this time. On April 17th, we've got Saturn here at 26 degrees of Pisces, exactly aligned, conjunct the North Node at 26 degrees of Pisces. I really like this energy, even though with Saturn involved and the North Node aligning us with our true purpose, our true sense of purpose, aligning us more authentically with where we genuinely want to go, with where we're headed. Saturn produces or presents this reality check for us. This is a time that could bring in a strong wake-up call for you in one or more areas of your life, but even more specifically, if you look to the Pisces area of your birth chart, the later degrees, and that's going to be even more strong if you have anything in those later degrees of Pisces, Gemini, Virgo, or Sagittarius. You're going to want to really pay attention to any and all information that is coming into you, through you, any restrictions that are cropping up, any reality checks that you're receiving. If you're being rerouted, this is a reality check energy, but this is really strong in regards to our own creative energy. This is that reality check, especially when it comes to our own creative energy, our dreams, our hopes, our aspirations, our goals, and also our spirituality and our compassion, our ability to be empathetic, our ability to be kind to others, to remain gracious with both self and with others, while also being honest and very aware of limitations, of any and all limitations that could be surrounding a specific situation or relationship. Pay very close attention to your dreams at this time. I've been talking about this for months, but it's really enhanced right now with this Pisces energy, Saturn aligning with the North Node, Venus not far behind. There is a sweetness attached to this as well. It's about commitment and connection, like I always say. Saturn is that commitment, where Venus is that connection. And the North Node here is just about our purpose. It's about where we're going, where we're meant to go, our destiny. It's really important that we're mindful of the ways in which we can be very self-critical and potentially hold ourselves back from what we truly want. This is definitely a get real energy. Very strong focus on bringing dreams into reality while maintaining healthy boundaries. On April 18th, Mars will enter Leo. Another hallelujah. The Mars in Cancer energy, the Mars in Cancer transit has been a lot for all of us, both collectively and personally. We've had quite the journey here with Mars in Cancer. Mars entered Cancer back in September, entered Leo in November, stationed retrograde in December, moved back into Cancer in January, and then has remained in Cancer up until this point. Now, Mars will still be in what we call the post-retrograde shadow phase until May 3rd. So we could still be feeling very activated when it comes to our emotional world, our relationships, our family life, the way we protect and defend what is our own, our home. We could still be feeling that energy of protectiveness and defensiveness in one or more areas or relationships of our reality, of our lives. But all of that to say, Mars moving back into Leo, it brings in that fiery energy and that movement and momentum, movement forward and a new zest for life, a renewed zest for life, I should say, a renewed zest for energy and action. This is where we can really start to feel the energy pick up. Now, Mars entering Leo is also hand in hand with Neptune and Mercury. But the thing that makes this so amazing is that Neptune is now at 0 degrees of Aries. This is an energy that none of us have seen and will not see again. And we've got Mars. Mars is the igniter. We've got two fire energies happening here hand in hand, bringing forth the new action, boldly going towards new territory, paving the way for the future. New structures being put into place, very energetic. We're dealing with fire energy, so this could also seem contentious or fast or hasty, not to be loved by everyone, or even anyone for that matter. Personally speaking, this is fabulous for your own movement forward, for a renewed sense of optimism and energy in a project or in a relationship, making moves, making plans. So pay attention to the 15th through the 30th of March, especially as we have Saturn and the North Node aligned. Pay attention to everything and everyone coming in and out of your reality, and if there's a deeper meaning or sense of purpose behind it, which there always is. On April 19th, Taurus season begins. Happy birthday to all of my fellow bulls. The sun will enter Taurus 3:56 p.m. Eastern Time and will remain there until May 20th. So we are shifting from that fiery, courageous energy of Aries, and we're moving into the slower paced, still energetic, and goal-orientated sign of Taurus. So this is where we cross the finish line of the marathon and we stop at the hydration station to take a rest and to take care of ourselves, but we're going to keep moving. We're moving again. That's what it's like when we shift from Aries to Taurus. April 20th is Easter Sunday. Happy Easter to those who celebrate. Happy Easter in general. April 22nd is Earth Day. It's always a day to honor Mother Earth, to honor the resources that we have, to make a vow to take better care and to protect our resources and those of the earth. It's an actual great day to get outside. Make sure you're outside and you can ground and get into the earth. April 20th to April 30th. I have this flagged as hot button energy, high alert energy, no matter where you are in the world. You know that I never do the fear-mongering thing. I don't like to do that, but I do have an obligation to share when I feel something intuitively and when the astrology brings it up or confirms it, when they back each other up. When I feel very strongly about it, I have to mention it. April 23rd through April 30th, we have quite a bit of contentious energy here. We've got the sun in Taurus squaring both Mars and Pluto. And this energy will be very present around the new moon, which we'll get to in a moment. We've also got Uranus aligned with Algol again, fixed star Algol. We've talked about this before. This is also our third Mars-Pluto opposition, the third of 3. This is very heated energy, and I'm going to venture to guess that we're going to see a lot of this playing out on the world stage in various parts of the world. This is fight or flight energy. A few things that came up for me were Bangladesh and Cincinnati specifically, those 2 areas. If you are in or around those 2 areas, especially during this time period mentioned, please just be more aware of your surroundings, more cognizant. If something seems off, if something doesn't seem right, report it. With the Cincinnati, I kept seeing something around cars and crowds. I've actually never been to Cincinnati, so I'm not sure if there's some big event that's due to take place between the 23rd and 30th of April specifically. Same with Bangladesh, 2 very different parts of the world. But I just kept on getting those 2 areas as being high alert, and especially when it comes to cars. And also with New York City, there was something with cabs. And, this type of energy also deals with explosive energy and explosives in general. So deduce what you wish from what I just shared. If you are in and around these areas, especially during these dates, we obviously can't control anything, but we can be more aware. And trust your intuition, trust your discernment. Don't live in fear, but trust your discernment. I want to take a moment to explain something when it comes to receiving psychic visions, intuitive impressions, etc. I'm not one of those people that goes out and blasts public predictions all the time. For my own reasons. I don't really care to have the attention. It doesn't really matter to me. However, when something feels significant, I do understand the need to put the energy out there, to put the information out there, and I will do so. But what you have to understand about psychic impressions and visions, it's not always so clear-cut and direct. And it works the same when you're giving a reading. For example, if somebody comes through from the spirit world, they do not speak to me or to any medium in general, the way that I'm speaking right now. It does not work that way. It comes in, at least my processes come in through metaphors, through smells, through taste, through music, through feelings, impressions, etc. A lot of times we have to interpret. Myself and whoever's receiving the information has to interpret, has to use their discernment to find the messages, to validate what is being said. Same thing goes with public predictions such as this, public visions, public information. You have to use your discernment. Having said that, going back to Bangladesh and Cincinnati, while I was saying that, it also came to me that this could very well be something having to do with the football team, the Cincinnati Bengals. Yes, that is the way psychic impressions work sometimes. This could have something to do regarding that specific football team. So for example, and I don't know this to be true, but let's just say that the Cincinnati Bengals were visiting New York City for some reason. With all that I just said, I would suggest that they'd be very cautious around their whereabouts, about their daily life while in New York City, since that is one of the areas that I felt was going to be a hotspot toward the end of this month. See how that works? So as I always say, take what resonates and throw away what does not. Moving along. But all of that to say, generally speaking, April 23rd through the 30th is hot button energy. This means that people are going to be much more reactive, so paying closer attention while you're driving, being very mindful not to engage in unnecessary confrontation, holding your tongue to avoid something becoming very escalated could all be very beneficial during this time period. And going back to the Uranus-Algol alignment, you may recall back in July when we had this energy, and it was impacting a certain someone in a position of power's birth chart. There was an attempt at his life. This was activating his chart and the astrology in general pretty deeply. I'll link that video below in the comments just in case you didn't listen to it and want to go back. I just want to show you, here's Uranus at 26 degrees of Taurus, and here's fixed star Algol, known as the demon star. It's a star that does tend to bring in with it an energy of violence and trying to take people down. This is active up until May 12th, the Uranus-Algol conjunction. They will both be together at 26 degrees, which means that the energy is stronger, April 26th through May 12th. Then we've got the Mars-Pluto opposition, the 25th through the 27th. This is the third one. Now, historically speaking, when we have hard aspects between Mars and Pluto, it typically coincides with very decisive world events. The last one we had was on November 3rd, as Mars was getting ready to station. So if you think about the dates and we think about where we're at right now, we can definitely make some connections here. So November 3rd of 2024, we had Mars in Cancer and Pluto in Capricorn just minutes before the Leo Aquarius cusp. So this was just really powerful for the final movement of Pluto entering Aquarius, where Pluto will now stay until 2044. We know that Pluto in Aquarius is a major astrological signature for the coming decades, and it will always be colored by the Mars-Pluto opposition. Then Mars was retrograde in Leo and opposed Pluto for the second time at 1 degree of Aquarius in January, on January 3rd, before moving back into the sign of Cancer, where it finished out the retrograde cycle. Now, this will be the final opposition of Mars and Pluto on the 27th. There's going to definitely be a lot coming out around rulership and leadership at this time. I know that the Canadian election is set for April 28th. So that falls into this contentious energy, and we know that things are heating up here. We've got a lot going on with the tariffs. So coming back to leadership, we're going to be hearing a lot from the US and from Canada. Remember that the Mars-Pluto energy is also a strong force in power, and in a lot of cases, it does involve fighting. So we'll have to see how this plays out. And then on April 27th, we come up to the new moon in Taurus. And this new moon is a complete mixed bag because the moon is exalted in Taurus. The moon does very well in the sign of Taurus. It's grounded, it's stable, it's able to articulate its emotions. It knows what it wants. It's very focused and determined. But then there's all this contentious astrology and energy surrounding this new moon. So what type of energy are we calling in? What type of energy are we bringing in? What's manifesting? New moons are all about manifestation, the seed of something new. This new moon takes place at 3:31 p.m. Eastern Time at 7 degrees and 46 minutes of Taurus. Here's the chart. What I just said is actually very, very insightful if you are working with this new moon, if you're somebody that likes to set intentions with this new moon. I would tell you to manifest cautiously, manifest wisely. Going back to what I just said about what are we bringing in? What are we calling in? Where are we putting our energy? Where are we putting our attention and our intention? Because where attention goes, energy flows. So really to think about that from the personal perspective, with all of the chaos going on around us, we must take it inward and use the energy of Taurus, the earth sign, to ground, get outside into nature, look toward what's practical, look toward what is already working, what can be done. The new moon's here at 7 degrees and 46 minutes of Taurus. That's how we have a new moon, when the sun and the moon are exactly aligned by minute and degree and sign. We've got some challenges here to this new moon. We've got some heat. Now, I already prefaced this by saying that the 23rd through the 30th of April was hot button energy. So this new moon naturally falling right into that mix at the height of it is going to be hot. There's a lot under the surface here. We have a tense configuration between the sun and the moon, both at 7 degrees of Taurus. They're squaring Mars in Leo at 4 degrees of Leo. We've got Mars opposing Pluto, and then Pluto at 3 degrees of Aquarius squaring the sun and the moon. That's a T-square. So we've already got this really intense energy of Mars and Pluto duking it out. This is pure force and pure power. As mentioned, this is energy with the potential to implode. That are these two energies just by themselves. And then we bring in a square from both, going back to the sun and the moon, to the luminaries, to our power sources. And we just need to be extra mindful and cautious. We want to be paying extra close attention to our bodies, to what we are feeling. And the other part of this is we're dealing with fixed energies here. Leo, Mars and Leo, that's fixed fire. Pluto in Aquarius is fixed air. And the sun and moon in Taurus, that's fixed earth. Fixed energies are fixed. They are obstinate in their positions. They are stubborn. So any type of conflict that is ensuing around this new moon, it's like every position, every party is digging their heels in. It's almost like, a rock, an immovable rock. Think about Taurus, the bull, the symbol. Have you ever tried to knock down a bull? They're solid. They're immovable even. That's what this energy feels like. And then we're bringing in that fire and heat of Pluto and Mars, also in fixed signs. We also have Black Moon Lilith here at 5 degrees of Scorpio. Black Moon Lilith is not a planet. Black Moon Lilith is a point in space. It's a calculation. But what it represents is the deeper, quote unquote, darker, repressed side in all of us. In mythology, Lilith was the first wife to Adam, and she was kicked out of the Garden of Eden for not complying. She wouldn't follow the rules. Then we had Eve. Just to kind of give you an idea of what Black Moon Lilith represents. It's the bad girl or boy in all of us. It's what we might keep repressed or suppressed because we don't deem it as pretty. It's a little bit of a dark side. Well, Mars at 4 degrees of Leo is squaring Black Moon Lilith, and then Pluto is also squaring Black Moon Lilith, which brings in another T-square, fixed energies. This is going to likely have something to do with women's rights, with our feminine rights, with sexuality in general, gender equality, justice, potentially eruptive arguments regarding the law in certain areas. The people pushing back, Pluto and Aquarius, people fighting back, pushing back, potential protests that can get escalated very quickly. This is a time to watch out for. It definitely is. We'll see what comes out of it. Good news is we've got this Pisces posse over here. We have Venus at 28 of Pisces, now direct, conjunct Saturn at 27 of Pisces. These two are pretty much traveling together for the remainder of April. And this brings in that energy of commitment and connection. What do we truly value? That's what Taurus asks us to go deep and think about and recognize. What do I truly value? What is of utmost importance for me right now in this lifetime on this earth? What is in my soul? What is strong in me that needs to be worked on, worked through, put forth into action? This is very strong energy of making a plan and following through with it. The dedication, that's Taurus. It's a very dedicated sign. And with the Venus-Saturn alignment here, that's very helpful. Aligned with the North Node, this is all about setting ourselves up for the future, for our future, for what's most authentic for us. The new moon is also aligned with fixed star Hamal. Hamal in Arabic means head of the ram. Fixed star Hamal lands in the forehead of the ram in the constellation of Aries. I forgot to add it in here, but remember Algol, fixed star Algol, the demon star, is also aligned with Uranus at 26 degrees of Taurus, which can bring in some unexpected disruptions. But I feel with this, with the new moon aligned with Hamal, there's this energy of misguided malevolence, misguided anger. This energy all can portend violence if left unchecked. And that's one of the things about this fixed star and about where it lands in the forehead of the ram. It's a Taurus new moon. So there's going to be this underlying feeling of, I want to just plow through. I want to move forward. And this new moon is in the first third of Taurus. That's the first decan of Taurus, which means it's very Taurian. It's very Taurus. So it's very dedicated and directed, and it wants action. It wants to move ahead. And with the energy of Hamal aligned with this new moon, that just drives this point, this force, even more forward. Aries energy is quick. It's the ram. So we just have to watch that we're not moving hastily, because it's supported that we do move hastily, and we want to watch that. We want to slow down. That's the good side of the Taurus energy. It allows us the ability, the invitation to slow down and pull back and savor the energy, savor the flavor, savor the experience for whatever it is at this time, at this moment. But it's like there's a simmering volcano beneath the surface that's trying to push us forward and make us act, possibly prematurely. So we just have to watch out for that. But again, this is very determined for busting through ruts, for setting new goals, for making a plan. But it's very important that we always check our motives, our motivations, and that they're in the right place, that our intentions and our energies are in the right place and flowing in the appropriate direction or the most constructive direction. We also have asteroid Isis very close to this new moon right here at 5 degrees of Taurus. Isis is named after the ancient Egyptian goddess, and this goddess embodies the themes of devotion, magic, fertility. It's a very nurturing and protective energy. It's especially strong for motherhood and fertility. Since this is a new moon, if you are someone, and even more so if you're a Taurus, a Scorpio, a Leo, or Aquarius, if you're someone who's trying to conceive, for example, this could be a very powerful new moon for you. And if this is not a literal life that you are birthing, there is a strong energy of magic and fertility towards birthing the new for yourself, whether that's a business, whether that's a new idea. And all of this Pisces energy here further enhances this. I should also mention, because again, there's just this real strong energy of feminine rights, women's rights, gender equality. The influence of this asteroid also talks about child protection. And there's a strong theme of resurrection here as well. So there's also a very strong Plutonian undertone to Isis. And Pluto is also activating this new moon. So there is the potential for some change and major renewal. This suggests that the main goal underlying of it all is rebirth. We have Mercury here at 11 degrees of Aries, aligned with asteroid Icarus. Now, I have spoken about Icarus before. It's one of my favorite asteroids to talk about. Icarus is the son of Daedalus. Daedalus was a very skilled craftsman. He made wings for both himself and Icarus to fly away. These wings were made out of wax, beeswax. Long story short, he always would warn Icarus not to fly too close to the sun, or else the wings would melt and that he would basically die. Long story short, he got a little bit too big for his britches. He ended up scorching his wings by the light of the sun, sank down into the bottom of the sea, and drowned. That's a very condensed version, but moral of the story as that pertains to this new moon, and since Icarus is close to Mercury, Mercury is the communicator, the transcriber and transmuter of information. This is just reminding us to be very mindful of our words and of our actions at this time, because we will all be held accountable for what we say and for what we do. And if we get too big for our britches, our wings are going to melt and we are going to drown, metaphorically speaking. There's something here about staying in your power, understanding the power that you hold, but being humble enough, another strong energy of Taurus, right? To be humble enough to know that just because you can doesn't mean you should. There's a time and a place for everything. Just like the earth keeps spinning, the planets keep moving. That's what Taurus reminds us of, the natural cycle and order and flow of everything, of life. We too follow that rhythm. And when we act too hastily and when we get too big for our britches, there's always a price to pay, whether now or later on down the line, whether it's this lifetime, the next lifetime, both. Karma is very real. And that's another strong reminder around this new moon. So stay in your higher vibration, stay in the energy of truth and compassion, saying what you mean and meaning what you say, but saying it cautiously, saying it mindfully, understanding and honoring any and all repercussions that could come about by your words and by your actions. A few other things to mention about this new moon. There's a lot to say about this new moon. I'm feeling like even dizzy as I'm talking about it. So this new moon is also a super moon, which means it's a fancy way of saying that it is that much closer to us here. It's that much closer to Earth. And even though we don't see a new moon because it's when the moon is essentially invisible in the night sky, the powers and the properties of the moon are very strong, very potent. We are relying solely on our instincts as we do not have the light to guide us. Think of it that way. And it's a super moon, so that's times 10. It's also in Taurus, the sign of the body, the senses. So we're going to all more than likely be feeling things that much more intuitively, that much more deeply, and that much more physically. So really listen to your body. It is a very smart machine, and it will guide you towards what you need more of and what you need less of. Everyone will experience this new moon energy, but it's going to be the most strongly felt for our fixed signs and or placements, Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, Aquarius, and even more significantly, if any of your points or placements fall between 5 and 9 degrees of any of the fixed signs, which again are Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, Aquarius. This is why I have a lot of content out, a lot of it that's free, that will show you in more detail how to recognize, identify these energies, these areas of your chart, to help you gain a stronger understanding or just deeper insights into what is going on right now for you, and potential clarity to help you with movement forward. That's what new moons are all about, setting intentions, looking toward the new, and moving ahead. And in the sign of Taurus, which is where this new moon resides, it is all about structure, solidity, a plan, staying grounded, maintaining our determination and loyalty to whatever and whomever we are working with and dealing with. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, and I don't think that I have, that there's a lot of tension present in the second half of April, even more specifically when we get to the 23rd through the 30th, and around this new moon, it's going to feel very heightened. So it's really important to take extra care of your body, take extra care of your spirit, get outside, get fresh air, ground, drink your water, eat your healthy foods, incorporate more colorful fruits and vegetables, more fiber. That will only help you to navigate and to integrate changes in the energies, the forever changing energies, helping you to connect more to your body, acknowledging and honoring what it needs. Real quickly, let's go over where this new moon will fall for you by your rising sign. So be sure to check your birth chart to where 7 degrees of Taurus falls for you, as that is where this new moon will take place. And there is teaching content below in the description box to help you with that. Aries rising, you could feel some tension cropping up around this new moon in regards to your resources, your financial resources especially. So just be extra conscious and extra careful about where you're putting your money this month. And don't forget to put your money where your mouth is. There's potential for you to be very hot-headed around this new moon, so just watch out for that. A good use of this energy for you, Aries, would be to channel this more towards setting goals for your financial future, for doing more of what you love, and for spending more time around and with those who you truly love, those who truly value you, and those whose time, attention, and energy you truly value. Value is your key word around this new moon. Taurus, this is your new moon. We get one a year. This one is a fabulous one for you for doing personal intention setting and personal work. If you want to set up a new fitness routine, for example, or start a new diet or a new cleanse, put yourself out into the world, put your energy out there for a new job, a new home. It's all about the new for you. Changing your look even, many of you could be toying with that. Your ruling planet Venus just stationed direct not too long ago. So this is a great time to get moving on that new makeup routine that you wanted to start. Maybe dyeing your hair a different color, changing your hairstyle, changing your clothing, changing it up. Since you are a sign that typically digs your heels in and doesn't love change, you may be feeling more ready for change now more than ever. So set those intentions, Taurus. For Gemini rising, this new moon is going to probably feel emotionally and physically taxing and draining for you. So be sure to spend some time in what I call soul solitude. Take some time to self, go into some quiet bouts of meditation, get outside. Birds feature strongly for Gemini rising. So, and you know, that would make sense because birds are all about communication and you are the sign of the communicator, Mercury. Mercury rules Gemini. So pay close attention to the birds this month because I feel like they're carrying messages for you. Also, around this new moon, it's really important that you listen more than you speak. In fact, I would even suggest that you really watch your words because there's potential for them to be misconstrued or taken completely the wrong way. The more you can stay inward around this new moon and do some quiet self-reflection, the stronger the insights are going to be for you. Cancer rising, this new moon can bring up some tension within a friendship or a friend group or any group that you're a part of, group dynamics. There seems like there's something that's been bubbling under the surface for quite some time, and it could really crop up, come up, and potentially erupt under this new moon energy. So this is a really great time for you to think about the groups that you're a part of, the friendship dynamics, what you're willing to compromise on, and what you're willing to let go of. This is a strong new moon for groups and friends. Leo rising, this is a great new moon for you to set some new goals or intentions when it comes to your public life, your career if you have one, your vocation if you have one, or just your way out in the world in general. Your reputation, how people see you. You may receive some strong insights, either psychically or someone literally and directly telling you the way that you're being perceived. So there's a really strong opportunity for you to move forward for your future, but you first have to identify the direction that you want to go and be open to others' opinions, but do not let them consume you. For those of you that might be looking for a new job, this is a fabulous time to get your resume out there, but watch out for competition because competition could also be very heated up for you when it comes to your work life. Virgo rising, if ever were a time for you to explore, for you to travel, for you to go see a part of the world that you've been wanting to see but have been holding yourself back from, this is the time to really get clear on where you want to go next, on any new courses that you want to take, any which way that you want to expand, especially when it comes to your spirituality, your beliefs. There's a very strong energy here on you letting go and going more into the flow. Powerful time to set intentions for the new and to let go of what's consuming and controlling your time that you're no longer happy with. Libra rising, around this new moon, you may find that you want to just lay in bed with the covers over your head. I'm just kidding, kind of. Your ruling planet Venus is direct as of April 12th, and this has likely brought up a lot for you around relationships and relationship dynamics in your life, issues having to do with intimacy, either perceived or real, or lack thereof, boundaries that come up with what we share with others, especially when it comes to our resources. So you may want to set some time aside to go over everything with a fine-tooth comb and go deep to figure out what's worth it. If you feel that you've been blocking intimacy and love from your life, this is going to be a strong new moon for recognition of that. So pay close attention if someone in your life approaches you and wants you to be more open and vulnerable with them, because the time is right for that. You could feel a little stressed around this new moon with relationships, but a breakthrough is right around the corner. Scorpio, this is a great new moon for you to take any existing tension and channel it towards a new way of being within your relationships. This could be about one specific relationship in your life, or this could just be about the way you move about through your relationships and the way you see yourself in your relationships. But there's a strong opportunity here for you to do things differently for more positive results. And this is even stronger for those that are married or married to a business partner. Not literally, but a business partner is like a marriage in a lot of ways. So there's something here about really working through any existing issues, as it does feel like tensions are bubbling up around this new moon. But by leaning into the conflict, you can really move ahead in a more positive direction. Sagittarius, this is a fabulous new moon for getting clear on any health issues or inconsistencies that you have going on. Emotionally, physically, spiritually, what might be out of balance. You're going to be feeling very motivated to change things up, to switch about your routines. You're a very versatile sign anyway, and this new moon is going to provide plenty of opportunity to spruce up your routines, especially when it comes to your health on all levels. Capricorn, this new moon can feature children in your life very strongly, whether they're your children or children that you're connected to. This could also have to do with you getting more in touch with your own inner child and having more fun, bringing more joy into your life. So if you've been wanting to play pickleball, for example, or if you've been wanting to coach the children's soccer team, this new moon's going to offer some opportunities for you to actually move ahead with that. Fun is your key word. Yes, there might be tension, but underneath that, there's the opportunities to have fun. So move into them. Aquarius, this new moon is going to offer you an opportunity to do things differently emotionally. This is going to feel like a personal new moon for you. This could even have something to do with your actual home, your living environment. You might be changing things up or wanting to change things up. This will feature very strongly for you around this new moon, and even more so as we move into the month of May. And even with any potential blockages that could crop up, I still see you moving forward. It's all about setting your intentions. There could also be a family conflict that you're working through around this new moon, and being able to see things differently and from others' points of view is going to serve you very well. Last but not least, Pisces rising. You're going to have an opportunity to really speak up around this new moon, to speak up about what's in your heart. You are protecting yourself. You are keeping your boundaries in place. You're not afraid to say the truth, but you're also saying it very compassionately. But most importantly, you're showing the most compassion to yourself, which is something that you've been needing to do. And if you feel that you aren't doing that, then this new moon is going to be the time to set those intentions toward that, toward more positive expression, more honest, authentic expression of self. Saturn and the North Node and Venus all in your sign are really supporting you around this new moon into moving forward in a much more positive direction. This could have to do with your communication with friends, colleagues, family, anyone that you connect with on the regular. This will serve you well. There you have it. The astrology and the energies for the second half of April, with a strong emphasis on the new moon in Taurus through all 12 signs. If you appreciate these insights and would like to know more, please know that I do a weekly podcast, and also I do live streams for my members where I go much more deeper into the energies. You can hear more about that right at the end of this video. And if this is where our journey ends, much love, many blessings. Please take care of yourselves, and I will be back soon. Bye. Hello, everyone. Warm wishes for a happy and healthy 2025. I am so excited to be here with all of you, all of my beautiful subscribers, and to continue to put out supportive content. I will continue to give you astrological and intuitive updates. My channel will not be changing. I will be doing new moon and full moon readings, along with some insights through the signs, monthly astrological and energetic updates, astrology updates overall, and some more how-to videos, readings on current events, etc. None of that will change. That will all still be here on my channel, but I am excited to roll out a few new options for 2025. Here on YouTube, I now have a membership. That membership is $7.99 a month. You do not have to join the membership, but you can if you want to. And with that membership encompasses is obviously all of the general free content that is out there and will continue to be out there, but with more exclusive content. So every Sunday, I go live and I give the astrological and energetic forecast for the upcoming week, and we have some spiritual chit chat there. There's a live chat. Now that is going to be sent to you with the YouTube membership by recording. If you wanted to be a part of the live stream, I have another subscription, which is based on Substack, which is where I have my newsletter and where I am the most interactive. And that will also be linked in the description box below if you're interested in that. But the Substack membership is $10 a month, okay, to be transparent, or $100 per year. And every Sunday, I do go live and I give the astrological and energetic update and forecast. And it's, like I said, it's interactive and I answer questions. And then monthly, I do a live Zoom where I go into more details for each month, readings through the signs. And in those monthly lives, there's also the opportunity to be read, both astrologically and psychically, combination of the two. That is with my Substack subscription. That is with my newsletter subscription, to be clear. The YouTube subscription, the one that is $7.99 a month, you will get the recordings of everything that I do on my Substack newsletter. To join the YouTube subscription, all you have to do is go right to my homepage and just click join. And once again, thank you to all of my amazing subscribers. I'm so thankful and grateful to each and every one of you. I'm also grateful that I get to provide this content, and I really hope that it supports you on your spiritual journey.